Hey, Frank, what was your rank in the Navy?
I was seaman first class, and then I ended up gunner's mate third class when I got discharged.
Okay. And then were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
Okay. And what branch of service were you in?
I was in the Navy.
Oh, okay. What was your job or assignment?
I was a gunner on a 40 millimeter gun for a long time, and then I was transferred to a gunner on a 20 millimeter.
Wow. And where were you in assignment around the world?
I was in the Pacific Ocean and island hopping. We did invasion of Okinawa. After that, we was an invasion of. Before that, Iwo Jima was first, and then Okinawa.
Can you describe your experience at Iwo Jima?
The boat I was on was a gunboat. It was on 175 foot long. There was only 60 men, 5 officers on it. So it was real comfortable. You knew everybody on the ship. And our job was to go in real close and shoot up, fire up in the hills at anything you see, caves or anything like that, as the troops was coming in. The battleships was off, you couldn't see them, they was over the distance, but you could see the shells coming over.
Yeah.
And while the troops was landing, just soon they landed, when we got too close, you could tell when the shells started getting closer to you from these guys shooting back at you, you had to move out. So you just moved out and somebody else would come in, take your place. We did that for both places, Iwo Jima and Okinawa, and a couple other little islands we did the same thing to. Some of the islands didn't have no landing strips on them, so they wasn't real important, they wasn't invaded. But there were still troops on there shooting at the Navy as they come through the passageway and everything. So our job was to go in there and knock out the radio towers you could see. And every once in a while you'd see a gun come out of a cave on a railroad track, you know. And he'd duck back in real quick. Big thing come down in front. So you'd try to lower him out, you know. We had an old landing ship, an LST, that was destroyed. And we had another minesweeper tow that ship down through there. And sure as hell, here come the cannon out, here come the big artillery out to shoot. And here's 2 gunboats powered. And we nailed him. You could see the shell going right in the damn tunnel, right in the cave. And it looked like the whole mountaintop exploded when we hit the ammunition in there. But that was the end of that guy. No more trouble coming down through that canal.
So was there a time to think during all this, or was it just reactionary and you just got to keep it?
There's a lot of danger. They're shooting at you, and there's mines in the harbor, everything. You know. A lot of ships hit the mines. I was with a mine sweeping group, and it was about 10 minesweepers after Okinawa, we went into Sasebo, Japan. We had to sweep the mines out of the South China Sea. Of course, it was heavily mined. Japanese mined it to keep us out. We dropped mines in to keep them in. Koreans dropped them in to keep the damn Chinese out of their place. And North Koreans, they mined it. The Russians mined their half up in there. Mines from everywhere. So every day after the war, we was in Sasebo, Japan, 1945. I believe it's 45, yeah, Christmas of 45. And went to work every morning. The minesweeper was sweeping mines, and the gunboats would follow them. As soon as the mines would pop up, the minesweepers would keep on going. Your job was to destroy the mines. And you tried it with all kind of 40 millimeter, 20 millimeter, but the shells skip on the water if you don't, and there's too many boats around. So we went to 30 calibers and had 15 riflemen up on the deck shooting at the mines. And when they would explode, shells and a piece of shrapnel go everywhere. So if you got too close, we had 3 or 4 guys got hit real bad. And they took them to the hospital, 1 guy died. The other guy never did come back. In fact, I was at Pearl Harbor here 3 months ago, and I visited his grave there and sent his daughter pictures of it.
So when you were during all the shooting down the radio stations or towers and so forth, did you always see the enemy, or was it just you knew that they were in the cave that you just kind of had to...
You could see the little guys come out.
Okay.
Yeah, you could see them coming out, which close, you know, from here to the other side of the bridge, you know. And big mountain, you could see the cave. You could see the railroad track coming out, but you couldn't see nothing until they pulled that dummy down through there. And then they pulled it out and was going to shoot it and sink it. But here come the gunboats in back of the dummy, and we seen them open the cave up, and we let them have it. Real interesting. He didn't come out of that river. No more come out of that cave.
Let's see. Did you have any close friends while you were in combat? Kind of like a group of close friends you always kind of fought with or fought beside?
Just everybody on the ship. There were 60 guys on there, and we was real close, real close. Divided up in 3 watches, 20 people on a watch. So the 20 people was on your ship, you call it. You was on one ship. It's like 3 ships, first, second, third ships, you know.
Yeah.
When you get off first ship, the other ship would go on it, and you would be off duty. But you wasn't off duty really because you worked. You went down and reloaded magazines. We loaded our own shells, you know. And some of the gunners, like I wanted every third, in my 20 millimeter, I had every third one a tracer. Now some guys wanted every 2 a tracer, so you see where they're going. I mean, between each tracer, there's 2 or 3 armor-piercing shells, you know. And I had every third one. So you had to load your own and mark them, you know. Make sure you get the right one when we're up.
Now, out of all that experience, is there one event or circumstance that just stands out in your mind as, I mean, that was...
The most was Kamikazes come in Okinawa. We was running escort duty for the carrier Franklin, USS Franklin. And a couple planes hit the Franklin real bad. And the guys were jumping off the ship, burning oil, you know. And it was real bad. And they had floated guys all around you in the damn oil. And you was running around picking them up, you know. So that we wanted to know what to do with them. We pick them up, you know. I said, pull their dog tags. And I said, they're all dead. So pull their dog tags and put them back in the water. And that was pretty bad. When you grab them, their clothes would fall off of them, you know, they burn. So you try to get their dog tags off of them. And any personal wallet or pictures, so you put them in a bag and seal the bag up and hold it. And we turned them all in. We had about 50 of them like that we pulled out of the water. Then no one never pulled a live one out. Pulled a live Japanese out. It was on a kamikaze plane. Of course, he lived. He had a broken arm, but no one wanted him. So we put him back in the water and let him go. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, wow.
We never had no doctor on board. All we had pharmacist mate. And they took our pharmacist mate to help the wounded at Okinawa. He got killed. So we never had no doctor on board. There wasn't no doctor on our ship at all, just pharmacist mates. And if anything happened to you, they patched you up. If they couldn't patch you up, you went over to the USS Hope hospital ship.
Okay. Wow. What do you think of honor flight?
Love it. I didn't think I'd ever get to go to Washington, but I really love it. Real nice.
And what was it like to see the memorial?
Brought back brought tears in their eyes, really. And the unknown soldiers, that was wonderful. That brought tears in my eyes, too. And they did changing the guard there, you know. It was wonderful. I'd like to go back again, but I don't know whether I will or not.